Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, I'm going to share how to use one stenciled background to make 3 slimline cards. Today's video is part of Trinity Stamps' January release, Sending Smooches video hop. All of the information about the hop will be down in the YouTube description box below. So let's dive right in, taking a look at these brand new stencils, stamps, and dies. This is Trinity Stamps' new stencil combination called Bed of Roses. You can see that one stencil has the open roses and the lines of the leaves help you line up the other stencil. The other stencil has the leaves open and the lines for the roses help you line that stencil up. I'm starting with stencil A that has the leaves open, and I'm using some pixie spray to hold my stencil in place. I have a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of white cardstock placed horizontally just so that you can see the whole stencil in action, and I'm placing the stencil on top. Be sure the pixie spray is dry before placing the stencil down, and then use a bit of pressure to smooth it out and make sure it stays in place. I'm using Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink and a Trinity Stamp Blending Buddy blending brush to apply the ink over the stencil. I love the size of this blending brush, especially for stencils, because you can really get into the smaller areas and you can control how much ink you want. I like applying different varieties of pressure to get some leaves darker than the others. When all the leaves have been colored in, I cap the blending buddy and then peel the stencil back to reveal the first part of this design. After cleaning off my work surface, I'm spraying stencil B with pixie spray and then replacing the original cardstock and using the lines of this stencil for the leaves to line it up exactly where it's supposed to go. I love that there's no guesswork here in lining it up. This time I'm using the blending buddy with abandoned coral. Here you can see that the brush is the perfect size to do a circular blend of color over each individual rose. Of course you could just blend color over the whole stencil, but by blending them this way, one flower at a time, each rose gets shaded petals where some parts are darker and some are lighter. You get more control this way to make each flower look exactly as you want it. With the size of this brush, I could have even chose to do each flower a different shade of pink, and it would have worked out really well. Maybe I'll do that next time. Once all the flowers are inked, cap the blending buddy and peel back the stencil to reveal the completed image. Up close, you can really see the pretty color gradients you can achieve by blending one flower at a time. I'm going to line the corner of the stenciled image up with the corner of the Slimline Tall Heart Trio die. When the corner of the paper and die are lined up, I wrap the corner with purple tape to keep it in place and send it through my die cut machine. I'm left with a strip of stenciled cardstock, a die cut Slimline background, and 3 die cut hearts, and I'm going to use all 3 to create my cards. For this first card, I die cut some colorful cardstock using the same Slimline Tall Heart Trio die. I'm using tape runner on the back of the die cut just on the left-hand side, and then I place that die cut down on the stenciled strip of cardstock we had remaining after die cutting it so that the stenciling shows up on the left half of each of the hearts. Then I flip this panel over and again place tape runner all over the back of the panel. I've cut some vellum down to the same size and I placed that on the adhesive backed panel. I love the look of half stenciled and half vellum hearts. I'm using the blending buddy with abandoned coral on it to ink the edges of this panel. I found the best way to just get the edge was to actually hold it up and then use the brush to flick against the edge of the cardstock. For the second card, I cut out another color of cardstock with the Slimline Tall Heart Trio die, and I'm adding tape runner to the entire back of the die cut panel and placing it down on white cardstock. Then I'm using the foam tape to pop up the previously die cut heart from the last card and 2 of the die cut hearts from the stenciled paper. I love making multiple cards like this where you get to use up all the pieces that you stenciled and die cut. For the third card, I added foam tape to the back of the stenciled cardstock that we had originally cut with the Slimline Tall Heart Trio die, so that I could pop that entire die cut panel up on a piece of white cardstock. I saved the die cut middle heart of this panel, and so now I'm adding tape runner and placing it inside the popped up heart panel so that the image is continuous, but the heart itself is set into the card. It's just yet another way to get a different look with that same stenciled image and background die. I adhered a teal heart from the other die cut panel above and below with tape runner as well. An easy way to make card bases is to put the panel into a score pal to see how wide the paper needs to be. Then score an 8.5 by 11 white piece of cardstock at that line. Next, fold, and then insert the fold into your trimmer and trim off the excess at the bottom. Then I added tape runner to my 3 card panels and adhered them to the Slimline card bases. For sentiments, I stamped several of the sentiments from the new Trinity Stamps Sending Smooches stamp set and trimmed them down into sentiment strips. For the first card, I added Happy Valentine's Day popped up on foam tape in the center heart. I used Sealed with a Kiss and Sent with Love popped up on the inset hearts for this card. And I went back to Valentine's Day again for this last one. And here's all 3 cards together made with that one stenciled piece from the beginning. If you want all the information about the Trinity Stamps Video Hop, don't forget to look down below in the YouTube description box. If you want other Slimline card ideas, check out these videos over here. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified every time I have a new video available. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Why can't I say January? That's so odd.